Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit about Savedata and Season 1 in general, because how things stand right now, it's a little bit weird, to say the least. So let's dive into it. Okay, let's start out by talking about Savedata. Let me explain first how Savedata actually works. So you have a number attached to the Savedata. Which number that actually is, how high or low the number will be, that depends on what tier the planet that you conquer is. For example, if I would be to conquer this planet right here, you see this, it has Savedata value tier 6. And the easiest way to explain this is you take the number of the tier from the planet, which would be in this case 6. You multiply this by 10 and you add 20 onto it. So in our case, 6, which is the tier of the planet, and we multiply this by 10. That would be 60. Now we add 20 onto it, and that would leave us at 80. So if I now conquer this planet, I can create a Savedata that would be 100% guaranteed with 80 points. Okay, so remember, for our example, we can create a Savedata with 80 points. Now we have to understand how these points are actually accumulated. And it goes the following. Whenever you would add a neutral card, that would cost you 20 points. Whenever you would add a monster card, that is pretty irrelevant, you will never take those, right? But just for completion's sake, a monster card would add 80 points to your Savedata. Whenever you would use a normal epiphany onto a card, that would cost you 10 points. A divine epiphany, on the other hand, would cost you 20 points. Okay, so let's say, hey, we add a neutral card that cost us 20 points. If we would now add an epiphany onto this neutral card, then we would be increasing our Savedata value by 10. That would equal to 30 points, right? If we divine epiphany a neutral card, we would then add 20 points, so it would equal to 40 points, right? I think you get the point. Okay, then we are able to remove cards. This one right here, for example, should always be removed. The first removal is free. Second removal, 10 points. Third removal, 30 points. Fourth removal, 50 points. And each additional removal would cost us 70 points. Keep in mind that all of this counts for each individual character. Let's say I remove a card from Veronica right now. That would be free. If I now would be removing a card from, let's say, Mika, then that would also be free, right? Keep that in mind. Same for the epiphanies, same for the neutral cards. It's always per character. Okay. Then we are able to copy cards. And the cost of the card which you copy is also copied. So take this one here as an example. Let's say I have this card in my pile. Now I copy this. How many points would my Savedata now have accumulated? The answer is 40. Why? Because this card, as it is here, cost me 20. It's a neutral card. That cost me 20 points. And if I copy this, the cost is also copied. So that would equal to 40 points. That is how you calculate your current Savedata value, right? Yeah, more onto that in a second. Then, now, there are forbidden cards that join the fray. And those are interesting in a very particular way. Wait a minute, let me find here. This was one. Those forbidden cards, they count as neutral cards. They count as 20 points, right? This one right here has an epiphany. That would account to 30 points because an epiphany costs 10. Okay, now those are a little bit special because let me explain something else first. So again, we have 80 points that we can accumulate into the save data. And if we do not exceed these 80 points, we have the save data 100% guaranteed. If we though would exceed the 80 points, everything would be random. What does that mean? Let's say, right, I add maneuvering fire, I copy it, I add another one, I have epiphanies here, multiple, even divine epiphanies, and I would go over, if I would now go over 80 points, then nothing is 100% guaranteed to stay in my save data after the run is over. The maneuvering fire could be removed, the divine epiphany could be removed, everything that I added could be removed. Even if I removed this card, it can return, you know. Everything is 100% random if I exceed the maximum amount of value, that would be 80. And that is why you never want to exceed your save data value in a run with a character, because you want to know what you are getting at the end of your run, right? You don't want to have your save data manipulated and everything turn random. Okay, cool. And now, which makes everything so weird, or yeah, complicated I should say, is because of those forbidden cards. Because those forbidden cards, they are free from this randomness. If you exceed your point limit of 80, then for forbidden cards it does not matter, they stay. Every single forbidden card in your save data is 100% guaranteed to stay, even if you exceed your point limit. Now there is a caveat to it, because let's say, hey, I add an epiphany, a divine epiphany, I add neutral cards, and I hit my 80 points, right? And then now, after I hit the 80 points, my cap, I would add the forbidden cards. That would still apply randomness to every other card. This could be removed, right? Or my neutral cards could be removed if I exceed the limit via these forbidden cards. But let's say I make a save data only consisting of epiphanies and forbidden cards. All of those forbidden cards, they 100% stay, no matter if I exceed the point limit that I have or not. And this is what makes these forbidden cards interesting and a little bit, and makes the whole season, I should say, a little bit weird. Because, hear me out, this quote-unquote new planet here in the season, it contains all the forbidden cards, all the new cards, right? It even includes some neutral cards from other planets, but it leaves out absolute key cards. The best neutral cards in the game are not included in this new planet. Like, for example, see, every single main DPS in the game, for example, right? Main DPS, sub DPS, everyone who deals damage has at least 2 viable save datas in the meta. If we talk about like top tier shit, right? Top tier save datas. Then we have 2, at least 2. And that is a single target focus save data and an AoE type focused save data. And these save datas, they require you, no matter what character you play, specific cards, neutral cards. For the AoE build that I have right here, I am required to stack up on this card here, Maneuvering Fire, as much as I possibly can. That's the whole point of the build, right? Now, the new planet in Season 1 does not include this card. There is another example, that the best save data in the game that is possible to create for Karen and Haru, they need a neutral card called Energy Barrier. Guess what? This Energy Barrier is not included in this Season 1 planet either. You cannot get your hands onto this. I grinded this for over 10 hours, specifically looking for these two cards, and they are not accessible here. You cannot grab them. And what this leads to, the point why I'm telling you this, is that the overall value of save data that you can acquire in the Season 1 planet is low. You will never get your hands onto a better save data in this season than you would be able to outside of the season. And to be honest, it makes the season pretty boring and honestly also kind of pointless. Once the season is over, you will ditch the seasonal save data completely. You will never use the seasonal save data that you acquire here right now ever again, because the save data that you can acquire outside of the season is just way better. That's like a fact, you know, undeniable. That is tested out and we know this for a fact. Now, so what's even the point of the season, right? That is a question that I can not answer you. The only thing that I could come up with is that for your second team, for example, for your second team, or for people who have not grinded the game out enough yet to like seriously establish themselves high value and very top tier save data, then you could create a save data that exceeds your current power level by a lot by establishing a save data only consisting of a lot of these forbidden cards. That would lead to you, let's say, right, you are only able to establish a save data with a point value of 80. You can exceed this point level by a lot by only using this forbidden cards. It would give you a better save data than you would normally be able to acquire. But there is a downside to even this, because these forbidden cards, they are overall not that great to begin with. Sure, some cards are pretty good, like the mutant. Wait a minute, let me find this guy real quick. There is a mutant here. I forgot the exact name. Wait a minute. Here, aggressive mutant. That's a quite solid card. You know what I mean? There's another card that gives you a lot of shield. This one here, shell forming cell. There are some good cards, is the point, in these forbidden cards. But overall, if you make a save data for a high point value only consisting of these forbidden cards, it's still not gonna be as good as a save data that you can establish yourself outside of the season. And that's the whole point. This is why when I first started grinding this, it feels boring, right? Nothing here is of value. Even the new character Yuki is completely underpowered. It's a waste of resources and a must skip, no matter how you possibly look at it, right? The new cards are not crushing it. The planet is not really new. The tiles that we go to on this planet are the same. We have copy-pasted assets and monsters here on this planet. It's like, the point that I'm trying to get across is it's boring. There's not enough new stuff, and even the new stuff is nothing special, kinda weak and useless, at least for how things stand right now. And I have a huge community on Twitter consisting of whales and hardcore grinders, right, mainly people from the Japanese community, they grind this out here for hours and hours on end on the very highest difficulty with, like, as I said, they are giga whales. They have maxed out Yuki, maxed out all of the characters in this game, basically, right? You get the point. So we have tried the save data out with only consisting of forbidden cards. We have made comparisons, and like everything is already here. There's already light shed onto everything that is available to us here, and everything is extremely underwhelming if we compare the season 1 to outside of the season 1. So really, what's the point of this season? Like, I absolutely don't get it. And as I said, like when I first started this out without even knowing much at the time, right, then it felt boring. But I couldn't point my finger towards why. And now I know why. Because everything is weak and underwhelming, and once the season leaves, everything that we acquired during the season will be useless. At least for how things stand right now. And yeah, I mean, the testing is very, very, like, proficient, very effective, and we know what in the world we are talking about. Maybe there is like a, you know, it feels like we have to miss something. There is something hidden here that we haven't discovered yet. That is kind of the mindset that we have right now, because this cannot be it, right? It's impossible. Like, the season cannot be as bad as it is, as we think it is. There has to be something to it. It might be hopium and copium, and the season is actually completely garbage. Everything points towards it right now. And you know, I'm keeping my eyes really closely onto YouTube, trying to see someone upload a talk about season 1, like something, but no one is talking about season 1 whatsoever. And if I would have to take a guess why that is because people don't wanna talk about negative stuff. But all there is to say about this season 1 would be negative, because it is extremely underwhelming and boring. So no one even makes a video about it, right? They only want to talk about positive and hype things, but do not address the shit in this game. That is always the case with every single game that I've ever made content about. It was always the case that everyone only wants to ride the hype train and be positive about everything. No one addresses the bad things about a game. So this it strengthens my thought that the season is ass. There is nothing hype to talk about. There is nothing to dive into or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, maybe in a few days, who knows? Let's wait and see. Anyways, that is, I talked for way too long, way longer than I wanted to. So I will cut it short here and say that's it for the video, guys. I hope that was fun and informative. Please let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section down below. I'm really curious as to what your current experience is with this season 1. How much have you played it, and what are your thoughts about it? Do you think this is fun, or is this just a repeat of something that we already doing but worse? Like, you know, let me know your thoughts. And that's about it. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day. Don't forget to join the Discord server, link in the description down below. Peace and love.